online at the same time, so what we're doing today, we've looked at some film behind the scenes and discussed it, and I'm bringing some analysis of our actual experts to you, so I'm basically the trained monkey here. Like Lou used to say, don't ask me, I'm just the monkey, ask the organ grinder. So the organ grinder today is Burger23. You guys might remember that he usually does our write-ups on the option games. He's an option expert. In this case, he just chimed in with some thoughts on Adams' two most recent 70-plus yard runs. Kind of insane that you have to say his most recent because he's had so many. But one against USC and one against NC State. And the thing that struck him and the rest of us as interesting between those two runs is that they look at a casual glance, certainly when you're watching the broadcast live, the runs looked very similar. The C parts, and Adams goes up the middle of the field untouched for 77 yards and 83 yards, I think. But in reality, they had very different causes. The two plays had very different causes. And it's just interesting to take a look at the different ways that we are able to stress defense with the offense this year. All right, so the first one we're going to look at is USC. And here, right before the play, you can see that Durham Smythe starts to go in motion. Or sorry, that's Wisher, Nick Wisher. He motions from the slot to stack behind the left tackle. We have two receivers to the left and one to the right on the boundary side, and Wimbush and Adams in the backfield. At this point in the game, you can see the timer. It's late in the third quarter. Wimbush has killed USC multiple times with long scrambles / runs, planned runs in some cases. And that's going to play into what happens here. Okay, so let's start the tape. And you see here Adams right up the middle, and he's gone. All right. Now, I'm going to let this run because two reasons. One, it's awesome. And two, they have a very good view coming up after the festivities here from the end zone angle. And let me see if I can skip ahead a few seconds here to that. Oh, sad Sam Darnold. That's always good too. Okay. It was a very long delay here until they showed the replay. Here it is. Okay. So you see before the play that we have USC with 1, 2, 3 defenders here all looking into the backfield, right? This corner here is following Wisher across the formation, or the safety, excuse me. And now if we start the play, let me clear that out. And just going to advance it slowly here. This is Doug Flutie's telestrator work. But right after the snap, you can see with the zone read action, you can actually see it there for a second. The two defenders right here, so the safety and the linebacker here, they're watching the mesh point, but they start to bail on Wimbush almost immediately, assuming that he'll keep it. Right, so let's see that again here, or see that unfold. There they go, right? So the exchange actually hasn't happened yet, and you can see they're both taking a step to their left. And as Wisher has continued to motion after the snap, and now he's moving left to right, that other safety has followed him across also. And right now you have Wimbush, continuing to play fake. You have the linebacker and the safety still watching him. They're not looking at Adams yet. And now, number 10, the linebacker, now he realizes, but it's too late. The safety is actually still watching Wimbush as Adams hits the hole. Look at him, he's shuffling to his left. He's dead to rights at this point. There's no way. And it's all that threat of Wimbush and his speed on the outside. And let's watch the rest of this one more time. It's beautiful. That's beautiful. All right. So that's the Adams run, or the USC run. We'll take a look at the NC State run here. And here it's actually caused not by motion so much, although we'll see one guy does consider following Wimbush. But here it's more about formation. Here we we schemed the middle of the field open. So you can see here we're in 5 linemen, Wimbush, Adams in the backfield, and we have stacked receivers on each side. And what this means, and of course this isn't from me, this is thanks to Berg, so credit to him for the analysis here. But what this does is this threatens NC State with a screen, a wide receiver screen on each side. And we've thrown that a lot this year, so they have to respect it. And you can see right here they have a corner up tight to the receiver that's on the line, and they have a safety almost directly over in each case to handle the stack, right? That, as it turns out, is understandable, but it's going to be a very big mistake. So let's go ahead and advance this. Okay, so no motion on this time, on this one. So there's a big difference too. It's just about the stacked receivers on the outside of the formation. And right here you can see the corners on the outside are already attacking the up receiver very hard. You got both of the stacked receivers are looking into Wimbush like they're expecting a pass. And both safeties are watching this unfold in front of them, expecting a screen on their side. Meanwhile, this right here in the middle is a very ugly picture for NC State, because you have both safeties basically taken out of the play for no reason. They're not going to be able to help on this at all, and the ball's not going to where they're looking. Right? You have 2 linebackers crashing down here, worried about the run, but then there's this guy by himself, and that's it. So basically what this play design has done is put Adams one-on-one with, I'm not sure if this is a nickelback or a linebacker, but put him one-on-one with this guy. And, at that point, the play is basically over. And we'll see that again here. So we'll see it unfold. And actually, so this is what I was talking about before with, it's not entirely schemed, because you can see this defender here is watching Wimbush and is spying him on the zone read. So there is one guy pulled out of the middle by the threat of Wimbush's running, even though he didn't run that much in this game. So then I'll come out and start the tape again. And now again, here we go. So you have 4 defenders occupied with stuff on the outside that has nothing to do with the play. You have one guy watching Wimbush as he sprints out. Everyone else is just getting mauled by the offensive line, with the exception of this one defender here who now sees Adams hitting the hole, but again, it's too late for him to react and get over. And he's gone. You give me Josh Adams in space, one-on-one with anybody, and I'll take that matchup. And once again, the best guy in position to tackle Adams is the umpire. So that's again a pretty good sign that you're having a good day. We'll let him run to pay dirt. And then again, this one also had a great end zone angle that I just want to give you guys a chance to see before we wrap it up. There you go. The captain, very popular with his teammates. Very happy for him. Look at Nelson. I love it. All right, here we go. So here, Flutie was highlighting Mustipher's work here. Mustipher did do a great job. He really blew this hole wide open. So that's worth looking at here too. But you can see, even just looking at this, even before anything moves, that middle of that field, that's not a good look at all for NC State. You have a very physical offensive line and not a whole lot of bodies in front of them right now. So let this run forward again. And now look at Nelson come off his block there too. That's a key. Because that linebacker actually did have a little bit of a play for a second there. You see Mustipher and Nelson double team the defensive tackle. And then Nelson actually came off the combo. And that was it. Off to the races. I mean, look at that right there. Yeah, Adams must get an adrenaline hit when he sees that huge expanse of green in front of him. And off he goes. Nobody home in the middle of the field. So, there you go. There's a look at how two different plays, or I say two very similar plays at first glance, have very different causes behind them. One is simply overreacting to personnel because they've been burned, and the other is a little bit of that, but mostly scheming a big hole in the middle of the defense and taking advantage of them falling asleep a little bit. So thanks again to Burger23 for the analysis on this. Hope you guys liked it, and go Irish.